Well, the state of Georgia at the heart of the battle between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, with the U.S. election just around the corner.
That's right. The vice president is hoping her strategy of driving up turnout outside the major cities could be enough to take the pivotal peach state. But in a swing state where every last vote counts, she can't afford any slip in her base.
It is a tricky balancing act for the Democratic Party nominee, as Benji Haya went to find out.
We will ride this wave of energy from Gainesville, Georgia, all the way to the White House when we elect Kamala as the next president of the United States.
The opening of a new coordinated campaign office in Gainesville with just weeks until polls close. This is not your typical Democrat voting district, predominantly white, overwhelmingly conservative. And yet, it's become a focal point of this presidential campaign. It's more of a blue trickle than a tsunami, but a rejuvenated ticket with Kamala Harris at the fore has created a sense of optimism amongst some in this Georgia town. The fact that this is even happening here and now is a sign of increased support in the unlikeliest of places.
Our goal every time we have an event like this is to get more people at that event than we got last time around, because that shows us that we're growing. And to have the turnout we had tonight shows us that we've got momentum, we've got enthusiasm, that we have building something here.
Democrats will know that actually winning in these deeply red Republican counties will be difficult. But even if they lose, this is about narrowing the margins, moving the needle just that little bit, especially in rural areas. The hope for them is those small gains can make a big difference in this election. It's why Kamala Harris has been campaigning herself in these rural regions on a big bus tour.
Now, Savannah, the baton is in our hand.
The picture, however, is not as bright as it seems. Kamala Harris is far from sweeping this state. In fact, experts predict the path ahead is looking rather ominous. That's because many African Americans are shifting towards the Republicans, attracted by Donald Trump and feeling let down by the Democrats on the economy, immigration, foreign policy, abortion, or social issues. For a state that's a third black, that could be detrimental for Harris.
She's not getting the black vote she needs. She's somewhere around 80% of the black vote, sometimes as low as in the upper 70s, the low 80s. But I haven't seen a poll yet which shows her anywhere close to the upper 80s, which is what she needs to be. So she's not getting her base vote that she needs.
In the back room of a Cajun restaurant in Atlanta, a gathering of black voters sharing food and feelings. Most people round this table were once Democrats. No longer. Now they see Kamala Harris as a masquerader, someone who doesn't represent their values or interests. Instead, they're breaking bread over the billionaire businessman. Sure, Donald Trump is not to everyone's taste, but life, they say, was more palatable under the former president.
Yes, with his sloppy communication and his inability to kind of word things in a very diplomatic way, he commands respect. We're not in a relationship. He's not my baby daddy. He's not my pastor. He is a businessman that loves this country and is willing to fight to the death.
Do I think that Kamala Harris has overlooked the black community? 100%. When I talk to folks, whether it's at the park or the basketball court or at the barbershop, many of them are moving and looking at it as a not who likes me. They're not thinking about racism. They're not thinking about all these other emotionally charged arguments brought forth by the left, but rather they're looking at it through the lens of performance and programs, policies.
Kamala Harris insists she's working to earn the African-American vote and that she understands there's no guarantee of her taking it just because she's black. She recently unveiled a plan to give black men an economic boost with fully forgivable loans as well as investment in black teachers. Local Democratic Party leaders, meanwhile, are playing down concerns, praising her for stepping across the aisle rather than just relying on her base.
I believe that because Kamala Harris is such an advocate for the people, that it wouldn't matter where the Democratic Party is losing votes, where she wants to make sure that she reaches out to every single American, because she will be a president for every single American.
That is, of course, if the vice president can beat the former president next month. And to come out on top, she'll need to target every vote possible in this tightly fought election that's still too close to call. Benji Hire, CNA in Georgia.